What's wrong with America? Consumerism. Oh, really? This is some video that I shot just driving from my brother's house in central North Carolina to our home in southeastern North Carolina. And I didn't know what I was going to do with this video, but I decided to use it as a background for this little monologue. We've been told that America has become a country of consumerism. That all we care about is buying stuff, getting new stuff, trying new stuff, doing stuff. We don't care about working or building anything or making anything. We've become a nation of consumers. Well, let's talk about how we got there. Our government has done so much to destroy productivity in this country. These are bulk barns. If you don't know what that is, those are tobacco barns sitting there not being used on fallow ground. There's no tobacco growing anywhere near this farm. See, a few years ago, the government decided to pay farmers not to grow tobacco. Sounds like a great plan, right? Cut down on people smoking. That sounds good. The only thing was, they were paying them not to grow anything. These farmers could have switched what they were growing. They could have taken and started growing soybeans or corn or something else, that watermelons, things that grow really well in the South, but no, they were being paid to leave the ground fallow and not grow anything. There are people with 100-acre farms that have a 2.5-acre allotment where they can grow tobacco. The rest of the farm lays fallow because they're getting paid by the government not to grow food. Consumerism or government control. Another thing, factories. North Carolina used to be the premier, dare I say, capital of textile industries, clothing, because we grew a lot of cotton, which you still see some, but there's not a lot of cotton being grown here either anymore. But we were the textile capital, and you could get a job. It didn't matter what part of North Carolina you were from. You could find a job at a textile mill somewhere near you, and you could work and make a decent wage and live. You know, the cost of living in North Carolina is not as high as it is in other places. But that's where unions come in, and they're the other half of what destroyed productivity in the United States and made us a nation of consumers. We took through the unions and told people in parts of North Carolina like this, places where the cost of living is not that high, and told them, no, you're going to have to unionize your factory, and you're going to have to start paying your janitors $34 an hour to push a broom. Well, wait a minute. Nobody makes that kind of money here for doing that kind of work. Well, it doesn't matter. This factory is going to become unionized, and that's what you're going to pay. And so what did the factories do? They moved away. They left the country. They said, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to have a union. We're not going to pay somebody twice what the normal person average wage is in North Carolina to push a broom. We're not going to do it. So they moved to other countries. So you got the government and the unions. That's what destroyed productivity in the United States. That's what helped make us a consumer nation rather than a productive nation. We used to be productive. We used to have factories everywhere. Now look at Detroit. Look at what they're doing. They did the same thing in Detroit that they did to North Carolina. At this point, I just want to say, look at all of these horrible redneck homes. All of us country people where we live in our redneck homes with 50 cars in the yard and junk everywhere. That's where we live here in North Carolina. We're a bunch of rednecks. See how ugly our properties are?